Hola, hola. It's your girl Erica from America. Welcome to the Confidence Chronicles podcast. This podcast is all about helping you stand in who you are. Stop giving a fuck what people think about you. Start standing as your fully expressed self. As you are, queen, as is, there is no filter needed. You are fucking awesome. And I am here to remind you, I'm a confidence coach, a business mentor, a speaker, an author, and I am obsessed with women standing up, showing up, and creating their confidence. And I cannot wait to dig into today's episode with you. Hello, my love. Okay, welcome to the podcast. I am really excited because I get to introduce the amazing guest that we have today. Y'all know that I don't have many guests on my podcast. When I do bring someone on, I believe they are someone that's not only going to teach you something, but they're going to add some value to your life. Someone that I personally have worked with or connected with or I want to learn from. So I'm really happy to bring you Miss Natasha Willis. Now, this episode is for those of you out there who are running a business or building an influencer personal brand on social media. And maybe you want to know how to grow, how to build your social media, how to get your following, how to grow your email list, how to make money and monetize your Instagram or your Facebook page. This episode is for you. Now, I don't know about you, but the technology and all the shit that's happening in the world, the ChatGPT, the AI tools, it can be very overwhelming. Okay, your girl understands I was not techie. I would say now that I'm techie because I've told myself that I need to learn the things in my business that I've shied away from, like my accounts, landing pages, websites, the stuff that air quotes I'm not good at. I'm like, fuck that. If you're going to be in business, you need to learn. And I think a lot of us need to lean into the things that we're not sure of so that we can learn about how to use them. Doesn't mean you got to be masterful, but at least you need to understand. And this is one of them. So I want to say before we get into the episode, I heard about Natasha and the School of Bots through Amy Porterfield. What up, Amy? I love you, homegirl. So Amy was sharing about her. I listened to their episode. Then Amy did another podcast where she was doing a behind the scenes masterclass and she mentioned Natasha again. I was like, oh, again. And I'm like, you know what? I need to check her out. So I checked out Natasha. I checked out School of Bots. I joined the damn course. I was like, oh my God. And Hamish and I, since joining in July 2023, we've over doubled our email list. We have made thousands of dollars. We have grown our amazing community into our email list. Now, why this is important, you could have all the followers you want. Who gives a fuck? A lot of people have a lot of followers and make no money. They're not adding people to their programs or courses. They just look cute on Instagram with 500, 100,000, 1 million followers. Who cares? It's not about followers. For me, it's about people that are invested, people that are actually going to change their lives, people that are going to do something like listen to the podcast, download my free confidence kit, join me inside of the sisterhood, come to my live event. I want people that are human beings that are actually engaging. We don't want followers. We want engagement. We want people who are interested in subscribing and purchasing and being in your world. And I always talk about, especially in my business program, monetizing your audience with integrity and authenticity. And looking at this, I was like, shit, we have a massive gap. There are so many followers and people in my audience on social media who are not in my email list, who are not in my world, who have not listened to my podcast, who have not purchased a product, who have not downloaded my free Creating Confidence Step-by-Step Queens Kit. There's so much. So let me just give you a little quick bio about Natasha Willis. She is super young. I think she's 25 right now, multimillionaire. Genius brain. You know, people that are like fucking smart and they understand tech a lot. This is her. She's a genius and she's beautiful and lovely and amazing and very wisdomful for her age. I was like, girl, you 25. Oh my God. Like she's just an incredible soul and very, very switched on. She's a co-founder of the School of Bots. Her and her team have generated over 50 million in revenue for clients like Russel Brunson, ClickFunnels, Jenna Kutcher, Amy Porterfield, Dean Grazzi, Mind Valley, Jay Shetty, Matthew Hussey, so many more people. And basically, the School of Bots helps online businesses use chat funnels to generate leads and make sales every time you post on Instagram and Facebook. I'm so excited about this because I've used it. I think it's very important for those of you out there that are trying to build an audience online. Cute that you got followers. What are we doing with these people? Are you actually being of service and offering them something? We're not selling, we are serving. You need to shift the mindset around sales and move it into being of service. Here's what I know. You listening to me on Instagram may or may not change your life, but you joining my fucking program, you coming into my email and me weekly emailing you and sharing my free content, my master classes, my checklist, that is going to change your damn life. And if you become a client, forget about it. I've done my work here. So without further ado, I cannot wait for you to listen to this episode. If you want to see how this works in real time, we mention it in the show. But if you're impatient like me and you're like, oh my God, I want to know what this is, head to my Instagram, The Queen of Confidence, and just DM me the word KIT, K-I-T. Kit, you will get my free Creating Confidence Queens kit. In this episode, we share about how to do this in a way that feels integral, that feels like you. I wrote all this copy. I have created these chatbots with Hamish in my voice. It's all me with my images and my video. I literally can't message 50 million people, but I can get my content out to the people who want it. And it is the most being of service that I can imagine. The world needs to hear about this. Anyway, let me shut the hell up. I hope you love this episode. Oh my gosh, Natasha Willis, welcome to the podcast, my love.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been a long time coming. I adore you and admire you so much, and I can't wait for our conversation.
You are the best human ever. Beautiful and brilliant and genius. And I'm so happy to have you here because there are many of the women that listen to this podcast that have a business and want to make big impact and love using social media and are like, how do I grow? How do I help people? And just, I wanted to get you on here because I worked with you earlier this year. I freaking blew my own mind with you. I was just like, oh my gosh. Amy Porterfield, gorgeous Amy, shout out to you. We love you. Spoke to you on her podcast and then spoke about you again. And I was like, I need to check out what Natasha's doing. And since we've connected and met and been in your program and worked with your team, we have doubled our email list.
What? Ooh, we need a soundboard for that.
We need like a pew, 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 pew. Okay, like seriously,
yes,
you are amazing, and you have allowed us to not only keep growing on social media because I love Instagram, y'all. If you listen to the podcast, I'm always on IG. But take our Instagram audience and bring them into our world so that we can nurture them, we can speak to them, we can tell them about all the awesome stuff we're doing. So, firstly and foremostly, I want to acknowledge and thank you for the amazing work that you do, woman. Seriously.
Well, thank you. That means the world. And it means the world to my team and I, who are all so brilliant. And I'm so grateful for the people that we've been able to attract to kind of help us push this mission forward, because I could not do it alone. But it has been such a journey, which I know we're going to get into. But this space has evolved so much. And now is really the perfect time to dive in, especially for people like who kind of will go through a journey like you, where maybe this is the first time they're hearing about it. And they're like, automation, like my business identity is all about really being there for my community and being genuinely me, and I want to have that personal touch, etc. So we'll talk through some of those quote unquote myths, that we can kind of bust through just so people can understand it. But yeah, thank you for that shout out. It means the world.
You are the bomb. Okay, so if someone's like, people are a little bit scared of bots, and I think it was because of Will Smith's movie about the robots. I think it made us all scared of like AI technology, like, the Jetsons days. I don't know if you're like an 80s baby like me, but like, do you remember the Jetsons? How they were like, we're going to have cars that fly. It was like this old cartoon. And that was kind of cute, the robots. And then now it's like AI, ChatGPT. Oh my God. And there's a lot of people that are scared. And I was one of those like, oh shit, like, is everything about to come crumbling down? So talk us through, you run the School of Bots. You are the co-founder with your beautiful husband is Kyle, right?
Yes.
And tell everybody who's listening, what do you do and how did you get to be doing this? Because like I said in the intro, like, you're a genius, like your brain works so amazingly. And I'm just like, I would never be able to work that shit out. So you just, obviously you have a background. So tell us all about what School of Bots is and what you guys do.
Yes. So, long story short, what we do is create marketing campaigns in the DMs. And so we transform what would typically be done on a landing page and email sequences, like let's say downloading a lead magnet and transforming that into a back and forth conversation. And that is what we call a chat funnel. So, when Erica and I say chat funnels or automated DMs, that's really what we're referring to. And through that process over the last several years, our company has generated over $50 million in sales and sent over $60 million, 60 million messages, a little bit towards the end of the day today for me. But long story short, it's been really successful in that way. And it wasn't just because we like found, some crazy technology and we're super innovative. That's like part of the factor, of course, is we're always testing, always innovating. But this also rides on a couple of different consumer trends, which are that more and more people every single year by the billions are using messaging apps as a part of daily life in work and in personal life at home with friends, with family, etc. We can all speak to that we use iMessage and WhatsApp and Instagram DM, etc. And so not only is that the primary form these days for a lot of people of communication, but also there are things like growing content creation, growing influencers, growing online businesses, digital products. There's more and more of those people coming in every single day. And so as a result of that, that's really helped boost this technology from where it was 7 years ago to now being a pillar where, for example, for Amy, we just hit $2.8 million in sales. Literally, actually today, what's so special is the day we're recording. Today is our 1 year anniversary of working with Amy. So that actually happened really coincidentally. Yeah. So
what a legend. That's incredible. Wow.
yeah.
And you
And
guys
so
can
you
track
can
that.
see how
Yeah.
there's that journey, right? Of like, you even experience in the first 24 hours, then you have kind of the first month. Now you're what, maybe 2, 3, 4 months ish into the process.
Yeah. I think like 3.5 months.
Okay. Yeah. So then you can see how, you literally said at the beginning, we've doubled our email list. So the
Wild.
results have continued to kind of snowball and compound every time you post on stories, etc.
So good.
So
It's so good. And pinned posts, like I would just be sleeping and I wake up and there's all of these like people that say kit. And I was like, oh my God, that's pinned. And it's like it's working for you.
magic.
It's so magic. You're a genius. It's so good. It's the best.
Love it. So that's a little bit of the journey. I realized I didn't talk too much about the origin story, but I find a lot of the time, Steve, that's like a good kind of just overview of what we've done the last couple of years.
Yeah. And so for anybody listening that's like, it's a DM. Okay. So in case Instagram, DM, direct messaging, or even Facebook, I know that you guys work with Facebook. And for a little while, I was kind of like, oh, Facebook is dying, but you still want to have a presence or a heartbeat, especially if you're a brand and you have an Instagram account. It's usually nice to have a page there. And so I feel like you guys resurrected our Facebook community for us because we were really struggling. Because I love, when you have a small business, and if you're listening to this and you're like, that's me, you usually have a very small team in the beginning, right? Your first 7 figures, it's you and maybe 1 or 2 other people. And with us, it's also my husband is in the business. And so, we try really hard to do all the things, but like, I love Gary V and he's got like 55 million people. And I'm like, Gary, I don't have 7,000 people to do all my TikToks and then YouTube. And then I'm like, I'm this one woman and I'm pretty quick with my fingers on my phone, but like, geez, so I think this has helped us to be able to be on Instagram and support our clients here, but also be on the DMs in Facebook. And so if you're listening and you're like, what is a DM? It's just direct messaging. It's you having a chat with someone in Messenger. And instead of, someone like myself have hundreds of messages a day and nobody answers, that is we'll talk about it later, but that's a big value of mine, is to respond. And like, how the hell do we respond when there are 400 messages in there and you're just like, oh my God, like I can't do it. And this really helped us do that. So yeah, it's been amazing. You are the bomb. It's been so good.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that's been, because I actually didn't know that before we recorded this, everyone who's listening. I didn't know that you had at this point doubled your email list. So this is like a present for me in itself, and just brings me so much joy to hear that and just hear that the magic is continuing to happen for you and not only just one automation, as you know, but for people to kind of understand this now becomes a way that you promote anything that's going on. In fact, for you, you have your podcast episodes, you have freebies, you've had your events, you have your book, all these different kind of things. And so not to like take over here, but maybe at some point, as we're going through, maybe you can even break down some of the ways you're using it right now.
Yeah.
And then that way, maybe I can expand on like, and here's kind of how that looks from a higher level across all the accounts, like now 10,000 to 45 million follower accounts that we work with.
Wow.
So we can kind of give some range of, hey, here's what you could expect, like in general, regardless of what type of business you are, or like how many followers you have.
Yeah, you know what? Let's do that, because I remember when I went onto your page, onto the website to check it out, because Amy was talking about you on the podcast, and then
Yeah.
she did like a side masterclass, which is so random because I wouldn't listen to like a bonus episode, and I clicked on it, and she was talking about you again, and I'm like, okay, I need to check out Natasha because this is coming again and again. And for us, a big problem for us, and maybe if you're listening to this, this is a big problem for you, was how do we take someone from Instagram or Facebook as a follower, as an audience member, and get them into the next tier, which is like our
Mm-hmm.
world. Because we know, right? If you've got followers, whether 500 or 5,000 or 5 million on Instagram, they are not yours. Instagram had that glitch like a year or two ago and everybody freaked out,
Yes.
right? Like if you were in a launch, if you were selling something, if you were depending on your audience to tell them something, it's like the phone belongs to Instagram and you're like, hello, Instagram, can I speak to my person? Like there's a line between you and your person. And so this way, what you've been able to create is they come into your world and you can just call them. You can just message them. You don't have to go through daddy Instagram or, the algorithm. You could just directly contact. And it's such a beautiful way, not only just like sales and marketing and business and money making, but if we're really here as creators and as influencers and as coaches and therapists and whatever you do to look after people, this is how we look after them. The internet can be a scary ass place. And when they're following millions of accounts, the dopamine and all the things, I'm like, come over here. Let me speak to you privately, long form. Let me send you some cool stuff. And so I think it's a service, such a beautiful service that you offer, because not only can you make money, of course, but you can also bring them into your world. And someone like me, we nurture a lot before we offer.
Yeah.
And so it's like doubled our list, which is wild. Like that, we didn't even expect that. Um, so what do you see? I guess because you've worked with some kind of big people. If you don't mind a little flex, can you just give us like a few names? I already talked about it in the intro, but give us a few really cool people and maybe like how the hell did this happen? Because
Mm.
obviously, like just going up to Amy Porterfield, like, hey, you want to try this bot? Like, no, it's not going to work. So how did that go down?
Totally. Well, before I kind of share our client list, I think the main ways that we have gotten clients over the years who are like big, notable household kind of people was most of the time us reaching out to them cold, because our goal has always been originally with our previous business model, which was like very high touch, small number of clients, but very notable clients, was let's snipe those people. And so we would, do cold video pitches. We'd like be reaching out to them,
Love it.
and we had a lot of inbound, but it was just smaller companies where like it just didn't make sense with our model since we were charging $10,000 a month at the time. Like we want to make sure that there's like a lot of volume that we can provide for them. So anyways, with Amy specifically, I'm trying to remember back to, I did the podcast with her, and then I think Jenna Kutcher convinced her to jump on the train with us
Awesome. Go,
after a little
Jenna.
bit. Yeah, but Jenna, fun story, is a perfect example of that. We sent her a cold video pitch and signed her within 24 hours and then had her first thing
Wow.
up and going the next day. So
Wow.
that
I
was
mean,
probably
how
the
good is that?
fastest. Yeah, that was the
That's
fastest we've done
great.
it. But and then over the years, people have been hearing about us and kind of know about us. So we're very fortunate to get a lot of people too at this point who come to us and kind
Yeah.
of find out about us as well. So that's kind of how the journey has happened. But to
Wow.
give people kind of an idea, some of the people you mentioned, Amy Porterfield, Jenna Kutcher, Dean Graziosi, Russell Brunson, and ClickFunnels, Mind Valley and Vishen Lakiani, if you guys are familiar with them.
Yeah.
Boss Babe is another big, I'll speak to kind of the big people on
Yeah.
Instagram, right? um, Lori and Chris Harder, who are an amazing couple. A
Yeah.
lot of kind of people who are in that world. And then we also have people like Jamie Kern Lima, Jay Shetty, Matthew Hussey. Like the list kind of goes on and on in terms of the personal brands. And then now we're starting to work with more corporate brands too. Like we just signed
Wow.
on SoFi, which does about 2 billion, I think, a year. And then we've worked with like Nike, Under Armour too over the years. So it tends to be a little bit different with those, but specifically, I think for your audience and then for people like yourself, it's like everything we've been talking about so far, it just makes such a big difference to your bottom line and allows you to leverage the presence that you're already creating there, which we see again and again with these personal brands that we work with.
Yes. Oh my gosh, congratulations. That is amazing. And I have to
Thank you,
say,
girl.
being in the
Appreciate it.
program, yeah, like you are so there. And I don't want to say like so there, like 24/7, you can call you and message you, but I really love
Yeah.
your personal touch and the fact that you've been able to streamline and operationally organize your business and the people in your business. You are the most organized person. My husband was very impressed. He's like, "Oh my God, look at this Notion. She is amazing." And I was like he was very, very impressed. He's like, "Natasha is organized. This makes me so happy." Because in our company, he's the operations brain, which I'm sure you already can tell.
I can tell.
I'm just like, all these ideas. And he's like, "Okay, honey, how are we going to do all the ideas? Let me work it out." But it's so good.
Yes.
So good because like you feel cared for. You feel like it's not an online program. It wasn't some
Mm,
modules you watch. And it was
totally.
such, and like every person on your team, like I was just watching them just geek out in such a good, passionate way. And you feel so held and secured. Like these people know what they are talking about. And it was hard to get my head around it. But then watching, I'm just like, wow, like you have your handheld supported the whole way. And so someone that's busy, I feel like I'm a busy-ish person. We were able to do it and we got our head around it. I got some help from Hamish. Thank you, Hamish. But like
Yes.
it was so incredible. So I wanted to share, I guess, how we're using it. If you're listening to this and you're like, how do we use
Yeah, let's
these,
do it.
chat bots and chat funnels and how does this work? So I think when I came to you, we wanted foundational. I try not to do like urgency rush crazy stuff anymore. I used to do that,
Better
but
for
I'm
you.
just,
Yeah.
I'm like, that is not good for our nervous system. So I was like, how can I give my audience something free? Like we have this creating confidence kit that's like the biggest thing that we have. It's our core offering of a freebie. And so I'm like, if we can create something where people could just get that and come into our list and we could nurture them, like that would be amazing. So I think for us, the first thing we did was we created that freebie and it was kind of timeless. I don't know, it was like something. So if you can explain, like when someone goes initially, we would have to go onto someone's Instagram, click the link in bio, which no one does, by the way. Like, please stop telling people to do that because no one's going to do that. Like, we're just not going to do it anymore. So we would say, click the link in bio or like click on this link here in the stories. And that also has went down quite a lot since they changed the swipe up. God, the swipe up was the jam. I don't know why they did that, but anyway, they changed that.
True.
I know. For me, like we sold out retreats with swipe up. Like swipe up was the jam. So they changed that, and then it was really hard to get people from Instagram to click a link and to download something. So traditionally, they would have had
Yeah.
to click this link, gone off Instagram, downloaded something on their phone, possibly check their email or not, and that was the whole mess. And now with you guys, it's literally like comment a word and they get everything
Yeah.
within like minutes.
Exactly. So you want me to walk through kind of that
Yeah, yeah,
process so
yeah.
people can understand? Okay,
Yeah.
cool. So if you have not seen on the Queen of Confidence Instagram, if you go to it and you scroll through a couple of posts, you'll probably see a comment a specific word, to get whatever from this
Yeah.
post. And so the way that that process works is that as soon as you comment that word on that post, and choosing the word can be an art and a science,
Oh,
as
yeah.
you know, but at the end of the day, you pick your word, right? So once that's done, then you comment on the post. As soon as you do that, two things are going to happen. And one of them is optional, which is sending people an automated comment response. So typically that comment response is going to reciprocate, excitement about, hey, I can't wait for you to dive into this thing that you clearly want since you commented on this. Go ahead and check your messages and also check your requests just in case. We won't get into too much of the logistics and kind of techie backend stuff,
Yeah.
but just for people to know, those are kind of the main ingredients of how a comment response looks as soon as they comment on your post.
Yeah.
After that point, then they're going to receive the first automated message from you. Now, in the automated message, we are not just sending them a link and being like, peace out, hope you click on this. We are treating the medium like a conversation, which it is. And so what you're going to do is have a back and forth where you're going to say, hey, sounds like you want to sign up for my event or get my freebie or whatever it is you're promoting. And now we're able to collect their name and their email, which gets sent over to your email marketing platform. As you know, right now at minimum, our chat funnels collect 85% or more of those emails. So that's going to be much higher than nearly any landing page you could find out there. And then finally, at the end, we'll send people wherever they need to go next. So if that's getting the link to your lead magnet, great. If that's signing up for your event, they'll go to the link to that sales page maybe, or wherever they need to go next. So the idea is that anytime someone engages with something you're promoting on Instagram, you can take them through that process, collect 85% now of anybody employee who's engaging with you's emails, and then now also get them the info in a much more convenient and instant way that actually works for them, instead of asking them to go through the process that you just described of go to the link in bio. Maybe they can't find the link because you have a gazillion links in there, or it's not loading and working. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong with that process, and it's just more work. So a lot of people just tend to give up too, as they're going through it.
It's so brilliant because it's actually beautiful. And I think if you're listening to this and you're like, oh no, it just says click this button and do this automation and it's a bot. When I heard Amy say that she was really worried about having a bot or a chat funnel or an automated whatever, I was like, I feel seen, because I also obviously like, I love, y'all know, if you listen to my show, like I love you and I message you back and I send voice memos. People are like, I can't believe you respond. I'm like, of course I respond. So I want to talk about that because I think that that's a deterrent that people maybe don't do because they're like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm scared, or hey, that's not real, or hey, that's not me. And I think the example you used with Amy or you guys spoke about was like Oprah Winfrey, or maybe I made that up in my head. But like, I think about Oprah. Like, if you message Oprah, ain't nobody messaging you back, like ever, like never, not even an assistant or a social media person. Like, you will never get a reply. So I'm like, imagine if Oprah wrote, because like, don't get it twisted. When you do this, you write the copy. So like the emojis I'm choosing, what I'm saying, it's a message I would say to one person. It's a message I've said to someone in the past. And because of your amazing system, we can create this, like, what would you say here? What would you say here? And so it's very much your language, right? Like, it's very much with fire and crown emojis when you message me about it. And we're writing it, but instead of leaving you unread and instead of not being of service and supporting you, we've created a system through your chatbot funnels where we can reply to every single person who says, hey, I want that free 5 steps to creating confidence because I'm lacking confidence. Okay, no worries. Here you go. Versus you just can't do it. You just don't communicate. And you have all these messages where, for me, our top value is communication. And I would lose sleep. I'd be like, oh my God, I didn't reply to that person. Oh my God. And I didn't have a social media person. So it's been a game changer for that.
Yeah, it is definitely the most affordable employee you all will ever hire.
I didn't even think about that. And they're going to sound like you because you read it, you write it,
Yes.
like you say everything. And so it's quite funny because I remember asking you initially, I was like, are people going to be like, is this a bot? Because I am so chatty in there. People don't realize, they're like, how do you respond to these people? And partly is because I'm a psycho, quick Gemini, fast person. The other part is like when I'm on the toilet, when I'm at night, I don't really watch TV.
Yeah, it's every second.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, when Hamish is driving, I'm like, brrr. But also, like, I think one of the things for me last year, I went to this retreat here. It's so nice. If you come back to Australia, you have to go to this wellness retreat center. And I realized that like my phone was sewn to my hand. And I really made a commitment to myself that year. I was like, I need to unsew the phone and still kill it in my business and not be like, I have to be there 24/7. And so having this has been incredible. Like, my team watches and they're like, oh my God, look at it. It's doing its thing by itself, And then I always come back and send like a little heart emoji or double tap the thanks button.
Yes.
Because I'm like, I'm really here. I just can't reply to 7,000 people, but
so that note that you just made, I think is one of the best ways people can kind of understand this too, is that it's a hybrid approach, right? 95% of your DMs are going to be automated, which is going to help you not have to worry as much all the time about people being taken care of. But at the same time, you can pop in on your own accord without feeling super pressured to do it, where you can jump in and double tap one of their messages or pop in. We'll do this, or some of our clients will too, where they're like, by the way, I love what you're doing, in like a voice note or some text, but you don't have to do it. So if you have a personal emergency or a super busy day or anything like that, you're not like, my people aren't being served. You're like, oh darn, I couldn't like give that cherry on top today, but that's okay because I know people got exactly what they needed from me. So no one's like, there's no lack when it comes from there. And I think then that allows you to, to your point about wellness retreats, and you mentioned nervous system, kind of work and awareness a little bit, is when you're operating with a system like this, it really allows you to step more into an abundant mindset than a scarcity mindset. And instead of like constantly being reactive, you can now be proactive and be like, oh, cool, this person's finishing up this conversation with my automation. I'm going to quickly hop in and send something right after they're done. And so it just allows you to have more control over your social presence and your life revolving around social, really.
100%. It's so funny. I have, to this day, since we've started with you, we've never had anyone anyone say, I can't believe this is a bot. I can't like,
Mm.
so on the contrary, one of my actual clients wrote the keyword by mistake, and she's in our program, and she was like, she just hearted it. And I'm like, Kelly, you're so cute. I'm like, sorry, that was my queen bot you were speaking to. She's like, that's cool. Sounded really cool. Like sounded really lovely. And I was just like, she's like, I'm so happy for you. Cause also if you are a connected person and you keep it real and raw on your social media, if that's you, and most of the women that listen to my podcast, that is you, people will love that you're like, hey, I'm trying my hardest to be there for you, but I'm also a mother, and I'm also a human being that needs sleep. And I'm
Yeah.
also someone who is not going to be 24/7 on my phone. And so I think if that's you worried about that, I would definitely just check in with where that's coming from, because it could be, like me, fearful thoughts that actually aren't
Hmm.
real. It could be the worst case scenario. And then you realize, actually, I'm serving more people and I'm being of service. I think having your chatbot funnels inside of our company has been us being of service to our clients. It's actually ticking off our values as a company, because we're able to say what we mean. We're able to actually follow through with that. The other way, we were just really
I love that.
dismissive. Yeah, we were super dismissive. So I know I'm not like at the top tier of it, because there's so many cool things. Maybe mention a few things that you, because I know you guys can do like webinar signups. There's like sales funnels. There's like, if someone's listening and is like, oh my gosh, what are all the things that this thing can do besides just grow your
Hmm.
email list? I mean, Amy uses it every single week. She'll be like, comment the number 356, and like you get her
Yes.
podcast straight away on your phone. So smart. Like, anyway, yeah, there's so many ways, but can you tell us some that are really cool that you think are popping right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'll share some of the most common ones that we tend to use so you can kind of understand what that looks like and how it works. To your point, every use case pretty much is going to be collecting emails. So the benefit of that is that
Okay.
once you have somebody's email, you don't have to ask for it again, which is great. Whereas with landing pages, it tends to always be like a share your email. And people are like, I'm
Yeah.
already on your list, right? And then on the other side, you can promote anything you want to your point about podcasts. Let's start with that one. So
Yeah.
for Amy, for example, and anybody else who posts about their new podcast episodes on their Instagram feed, what we do is have people comment with the number of the episode. It just tends to be the easiest way.
So
And so
good.
this is automation that we were able to schedule ahead of time because we know, hey, we've got X amount of podcasts coming up in these few weeks. So then what happens is that people comment and then we say, I'm so excited for you to dive into this episode about blah, blah, blah. And then people are like, great, send it over. And then we say, before I send it over, do you want to get early access to my next podcast episode? And that's an email collection opportunity. So that's just one example of the copy frames
So
that we'll
good.
use there. But that's a way to like, even though you're just promoting your podcast, we still will collect, anywhere between 40 to 70% of people's emails right there for not like
So
a
good.
freebie or something else that you would usually do. So just another opportunity.
I can't even imagine how many people end up joining. Amy's like the queen bee of email list as well. Like she just has, I don't
Yes.
even know now how many people, but that woman's got a database. And this is like this, oh, it's such a good problem that you're solving. I'm so excited for you guys. Okay, so question for you with that. Let's say, someone goes, all right, I want to listen to this podcast, or, I want to sign up to Amy's thing. I think one of the cool things that you guys had access to, that we just, back in the day, we used ManyChat. And I've got a few clients, and hopefully you're listening to
Yeah.
this few clients that are like, yeah, I use ManyChat. And I don't want to be an asshole, but I kind of want to like roll my eyes in judgment. Cause I'm like, listen, baby boo, you are not using ManyChat. You're not like, so can you just speak to people that have tried or have been air quotes using ManyChat, and no shade, y'all. But when you look at what you guys do versus I use ManyChat, it's actually like, it's a joke, because sometimes ManyChat does weird stuff that, yeah, like I'll message my friend in America and then it sends me this whole thing again. I'm like, babe, you got to turn this thing off. Like, I'm just trying to check in on you. And it sends me this whole thing, the same thing over and over again. And I think
Mm,
that's what can happen. And obviously it's better than nothing, but what's the main difference of like how you guys do it versus the standard?
yeah.
I'm trying to do ManyChat, but don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Yes. So what you just described, there's two things that we will typically see people have implemented. The first is, and this isn't always ManyChat, it might just be an autoresponder people have set up on their Instagram accounts, but it might be something you've decided to set up as a business where it's like, hey, we got your message, we're going to reply to you in X amount of time.
Yeah.
The problem with that is, like you said, it sends every single time. Oftentimes people message you. So then at
Yeah.
that point, you just can't even use your DMs, which is a bad user experience for them. Often the business is like frustrated about it. So that's one category. Second category is, we kind of talked about it earlier, people who are using it to just share links with people, which is great that you've taken that step forward, right? But to your point, being able to collect emails in the process, and I'll talk through some of these other use cases too, to kind of close the loop on what you mentioned earlier, allows you to literally triple your sales and lead collection on average within 2 to 4 weeks is what our clients see. And that's, again, across different size accounts. Between 10K to 45 million has been our biggest one. And we've seen that process happen again and again every single time with over 2,000 brands. So the data is just continuing to compound of being able to swap to this approach just allows you to get infinitely better results. Even if you're like, well, there's more steps, so shouldn't we just provide the link to them? But no, because of how human relationships work, you want more of those touch points, and you also want to break it down for people very easily. So does that all make sense before I get into the use cases?
Totally. 100%. I love that. And I'm just seeing like in my head, like the visuals of it, because you're right. It is,
I know.
it is a conversation. I'm so visual. I'm like, it is such a, it's almost fun. It's like a little quiz you get to play with people, and people love that. They love to be a part of that. So yes, that makes sense. Okay,
it
good.
really is. Okay, fab. So a couple of examples of what we do right now. Let's say that you have Black Friday or a promotion or something coming up. What you're able to do is take people through that core framework of have them comment, share their name, share their email, and then we'll give them a discount code and send them over to your sales page. So I know, for example, you've done like event signups and that kind of thing in there too. So kind of the same thing. The second, yes, waitlist, exactly. Yeah. Also, that's a big one too, is even before you promote something like an event or like a sale, like pre-sell the thing. So that's an amazing way. And funny enough, oftentimes we'll get more people who sign up for a wait list than actually go through a purchase funnel. Just because people like want first access. There's something about that psychology. And so it's super interesting. But it's just a great way to capture different people, because you kind of get to grab like the early adopter people of your audience, and then the people who are like, I'm just going to wait until I know what the heck this thing is. So you tap into both. A couple other examples we haven't talked about is affiliate or influencer brand partner offers. So what we'll do with that is, for example, one of our clients at her first 100K, this is one of her top performing funnels. And I think she's now their top influencer. Don't quote me on that. But their top influencer for a financial company where they promote a checking account or a savings account. And so that process is where we take people through, we collect their name and their email. So first of all, as an affiliate or influencer, this is a game changer, because usually you're just sending people to a link and then you're hoping they buy, and there's really no other involvement you usually have. Here, you get to now own these people who are coming through your funnel, because you're collecting all of their emails. And then you can also, now you're sending them over to your link, you know if they clicked or not, so you can follow up based on that. And also, a lot of our influencers and affiliates we work with now are like in their brand partner packages that they sell, they'll say, hey, if you want to buy this higher tier of my package, I'll have a chat funnel involved there. And I'll even send a follow-up email to the people whose emails I collect. So now there's kind of additional layers of ownership for the affiliates and influencers. That's a game changer.
Wow. Oh my God. That was a mic drop. If you are an influencer, like rewind and listen to that again. Oh my God. Wow.
Yes. And that even goes for, if you don't consider yourself an influencer, it could be like you saying, hey, here's my favorite hair product. Like, here's the Amazon link to it. That totally works too. Or anything else you're going to promote. You know, it's that same kind of process.
Wow.
Yes. So affiliate brand influencer kind of partnership offers books, since you've got your book, and I'm sure other people in your audience either have a book that they're trying to make a big deal or are using it as like a lead generator. So we'll do book pre-order campaigns where, for example, if somebody wants to pre-order your book, we collect their name, we collect their email, we send them to the retailer that they want to buy from. And then oftentimes you'll have bonuses or something that come with your book, right? And so we have people come back to the DMs and then share their order number. And that gets us a 40% conversion rate right now, purchase wise, which is higher than nearly any other process. So we're working with a lot of authors right now, like Jamie Kern Lima, Amy, Jenna have their own books too, but they're already out. And so a lot of these authors are like, holy crap, this is such a big game changer if you have an audience or you're building an audience at the same time as your book launch.
That is huge. I feel like I did that with Amy's pre-order of the book, The 2 Weeks Notice. That like showcase that you did this, and then you get these bonuses, and I can so see how that works in a chat funnel. That is brilliant.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yes. Exactly. That was precisely what we ran for her. So to that point, there were different kind of tiers also of the book launch because Amy did quite a complex book launch. And we see all sorts of different things, but usually there's going to be different waves, right? Because you want to get as many books as possible. You're going to create those spikes. And so you can create all these different campaigns, like a free webinar to promote your book, a free download to promote your book. All of that can kind of be a 2-in-1 funnel. And maybe something that's more relatable for your audience if they don't have a book is if you have a free webinar, let's say, and you also happen to have a free PDF, what you can do in the DMs is your post can say, hey, get my free PDF, comment, whatever. And then once they share their name and email, you could say, great, the PDF is just step 1. Step 2 of my system is this free webinar that I have that walks you through my framework, my blueprint, whatever. And so now you kind of get a 2-for-1 because they can just in one click register for your webinar. And now you've caught in like the cheapest webinar leads you can get on the internet right now.
That is incredible. And you know what's awesome about this? As I'm hearing you say this, I'm like, this person already follows you. Like, if you're listening to this, this isn't some random stranger that you did a Facebook ad for that doesn't know who you are, that's super cold to, top of funnel. They have no idea who Natasha is. They're like, I love Natasha. I follow her around. I love her outfit that she wore. I love her glasses. Oh, they're going on a date night. Oh, cool. Oh, now I can get this thing, like, because we nurture so much, or hopefully you're nurturing so well your audience and you're showing up for them. It's like the hottest, they're on fire basically as a lead. They're on fire. So they are definitely going to click. Like, I think ours is like 90 something percent because most people continue and it's like busy moms that forgot. And I'm just like, hey, boo, drop your email. And then the automation just does it for me. Like, oh my God, like little nudge, extra nudge. And so it's actually so amazing because they aren't people that you don't know, which when we do ads and, we have to advertise, I get it. But this is such a personalized thing. So it's actually the opposite of what I thought. It's going to be a bot. It's not going to be like me. It's actually so much more personalized and thoughtful because they're people that follow you already. Like, you're not marketing to these people that aren't there. They're actually there. So, wow. Oh my gosh, there's so many. I didn't even think about the book funnel.
Yeah, a lot you can do there. And just to add real quick to the point that you made there about you have these super hot leads, you also are getting to tap into people on the explore feed and the recommended feed who in a sense are cold, but they're also a lot warmer because they're being able to like go through your piece of content, get to know you. And so we'll find about 20 to 30% of the people who go through your chat funnels are new to you, but they still convert really freaking well because again, it was through that kind of relationship medium. Instead of just, I clicked on an ad, I clicked on a page, I'm kind of over it, I'm going to jump out now. Instead, you're building that relationship with them.
Yeah. And you are going back and forth, which I think is really beautiful. There is a conversation happening there and it's thoughtful, like literally every word. And I love how you guys do everything. Like, your research, even though you've said it now, like we know the percentages and we know what rate we're at and like the conversion rates, and you get us to do that as well. Those that go through your program, you're like, find out how much conversion every week. You need to be reporting like where are you at? Because every word is intentional. Every way that it's said, the spacing that you guys have created with emojis is intentional. I mean,
yes, so I love you brought that up.
I love it so much. I'm always like, Hamish, we need a space there. We can't just be having 3-party emojis, and it's just like, I felt really excited when we got the kit one that's doing it's doing so good. And it's such a core thing that I want everyone who comes into my world to have.
Yeah.
Like, and I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, that's like what Amy has. This is amazing. Like, it looks so good when you set it up. And I think it's really empowering to know that this, if you're listening to this, this isn't just for like Jay Shetty, right? And Jenna Kutcher and Amy Porterfield. This, like, you could do this as well. This can be in your world. And I love success leaves clues. Like, if people, and this is why I went onto your page, because I saw all these people and I was like, hold on, if they're doing this, they clearly know something I don't know in many ways. They're super successful. They're people I look up to anyway. Yeah. And so how can I get a piece of what they're doing? And you made it such a beautiful and simplistic way for so many people, from all your knowledge of working with these incredible brands and names, to be able to do this. It's freaking awesome.
Well, thank you so much. That means seriously the world. And I think it's been a lot of fun how we can kind of take all those learnings that we've seen work at scale and then see that they also work for the person that has 8,000 followers, 7,000 followers, 20,000, 300K. Like, I think the smallest account we've worked on in the process that you went through started at 6,000 or 7,000 followers. They're now at 10K, but this
Wow.
process was converting double at what their, ad conversion rate was. And it was just going so, so well. So they've been scaling it up and diving into it. And they have a small follower size. So
Yeah.
it's just been really cool to see how, like, obviously it's harder to project things if you're not posting as consistently on the platform. But even then, it can be so beneficial to set this up so that way people can go into it, even if the volume is going to be small to start.
It's better than what we're doing now, which is not messaging back, or maybe even not posting. Like I
Totally.
didn't have an issue with posting. I was laughing internally when you guys were like, make sure you post at least 3 times a week. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm posting like 4 times a day. like 17 stories yesterday. I'm psycho. Like I love, it's my little daily vlog, but I love that
Yes,
you said that
exactly.
because so many people, they struggle to show up. And so you guys
Totally.
give a guide. You give a guide. There's so much guidance. You have examples, visual examples from the top people. Like literally, if you wanted to be ease and flow, you could just replicate what other people are doing. Like you make it that easy and that simple. And I think by you guys doing that, it actually makes people go, shit, I actually need to post, and now we can pin
Yeah,
post.
you have a reason to
Yeah,
show up
yeah,
too. Yeah, that's how
exactly.
one of our other clients, Mel Abraham, described it. He was like, I didn't know, I want to show up on social, but what should I post about? How can this tie back to my business also? Because a lot of people either fall into, hey, I'm a business owner bucket. Social media is just the way I'm bringing in leads. And other people are like, I love Instagram. I'm a content creator, but like, I want to be supporting my business at the same time. And so regardless of which bucket you fall into, this helps solve a lot of those pains or unknowns or uncertainty of like, why am I doing this? Right. And how does this go farther past just like me putting out a piece of content and it being out there, but instead actually being able to build relationships off of every single piece of content that goes out.
Yes. And you know what's so funny? I think back in the day, we learned about like the comment the word. It was through Taki, actually. I
Mm-hmm.
think it was Taki or someone in that group that I was like, comment the word. And then
Ooh.
me and my team were doing these like quick replies. And Instagram's like, you have too many quick replies. And then I didn't have enough quick replies. I'm like, how do I have too many? I don't have enough. And it was like part one of a conversation. And again, so super manual. Like, thank you, Instagram, but that does not help us. So,
Mm-hmm.
you're literally, I hate that you're
I
leaving
hear
money
you.
on, like I hate that you're leaving money on the table thing, because I feel like for me, money comes when you don't fully focus on just the money. I feel like you're leaving relationships on the table. I feel like you're leaving your clients unlooked at, unread. Literally, you're not
Yeah,
attending to the
totally.
people, that chose to follow you. They click the follow button, like they want to be there. So I think that this process really helps if you're someone like myself who wants to nurture people, if you're someone who wants to grow your list, if you're someone who wants to make money, because when you're on my list, you are pushing buttons because I am always talking about something to do.
Yeah.
I have no shame in the game. If you're on my email list, you will get invited to join the sisterhood multiple times until you do it. So, yeah, it's been incredible. Anything else? What can I ask you? What do you, if someone's like, oh my God, I want to learn about this. Where do I go? How can they try it out and see what it feels like to be on the other end of a School of Bots funnel?
Yeah, I think one of the best things people can do is check out a demo. So, and this is actually also coincidentally shows Amy Porterfield's like example funnel. So, love how Amy is
Okay.
involved in all the things that we're talking about
We love
today.
you.
It's only right since today is our 1 year anniversary. So, I'm
Aww.
like, we should celebrate that in this way. So, if you go to the School of Bots Instagram, which is at School of Bots, you can comment on a post or message us, whatever you're comfortable with, the word show, which is SHOW, and that'll take you through a process. There will be like an email collection, name collection. You can put a dummy email, whatever you want to. That's not going to like opt you into any lists, but you can see what the process looks like and then see also what buttons and media and some of that stuff look like in there too. So that's a good, just quick demo without affecting anyone's numbers
Yes,
for
yes.
people to take a look at as well. I know I'm always
Aw.
mindful of that too, because I'm like, go message like this client page this. I'm like, oh shit, they're gonna get a bunch of people who are just there to check it out and not real leads. So I'm
No,
always mindful of it. But
hopefully it's so good that they're like, actually, I need this. This is actually
yeah.
really good. I definitely did that. When I heard you, I was like, I'm going to her page, and I was like, this is incredible. And I think the way that when you do that, if you're listening to this podcast and you go do that, the way that you feel, that's how people are going to feel like, whoa, this is so cool. Like,
Mm,
notice that you don't feel like, ugh, this is terrible. This is gross. Notice how you feel when you go and do that. And that's exactly how our clients are feeling when they get a message from you. Like they light up, they're excited. So
yeah.
it's been an incredible experience. This is some awesome stuff. And I'm sure knowing you, with your Silicon Valley background and your tech and marketing and sales and the pool of experience and amazing clientele that you have and continue to create for yourself, that there will be more on the horizon for you. What is coming up in your world? What's next? What are you desiring or hoping for in this business and in this impact that you guys are creating?
Yeah, well, next year our goal is to work with at least 100 clients a month.
Wow.
So we're very close. I know when we started with you, we were at like maybe 30 clients a month, and this month we hit 70 clients. So
Oh my
hopefully in
God.
January, we will be at everything's on track essentially. So I shouldn't say hopefully, the numbers show, as
Yes.
long as I can
When
continue to
it
build out
happens.
this team, because we've just got so much volume happening right now, like over 3,000 applications a month. I'm like going crazy trying to
Wow,
field everything.
Natasha.
So thank you,
That's
girl. So
amazing.
it's been a little wild, but ultimately, what I'm most excited for is us being able to help a lot more businesses do this and also help them understand. So, being
Mm,
able to like do this podcast with you is so special because then, whether people take action immediately today or in a year from now, they will remember this moment of hearing about this from
yeah,
you, just like you heard about it from Amy, right?
yeah,
And then that will be the first step for them to realize how powerful this is for their business. But it's like with anything, email marketing, social media, like some people still don't have these things set up,
yeah,
and so it takes different steps and time for people to test out the waters and make it happen. So
yeah.
that's our goal next year. And then there's other things, around that. We're finally jumping back into the YouTube game and ramping up
Woo!
our content and whatnot. So that'll be a lot of fun. But
Oh,
yeah, the impact we'll be able to make with just a bigger system will be a lot of fun and
okay. I
super
have
helpful.
I have one last question because you're just a boss
Okay.
and you like impress me so much because you have this beautiful like calm energy. You're smart as hell. You have a beautiful relationship with your husband. You're lovely. I'm sure the best boss because your team just shine and you always talk about them and they love you and they're incredible. You're accessible. You're kind. All of the beautiful things, right?
Gonna make me
I
cry.
know, but you really are. You're fucking amazing. Like you're just the bomb. I met you. I was like, I love this woman. Like, it means a lot to me for the humility and the humbleness. And like, I always want to do that. I always want to be like, we're relatable. I'm gonna cry. Shit, I'm gonna cry together. But like, I just think that that's so nice, especially when you are surrounding yourself with boss people and people that seem,
Yes.
as a little like chick from the hood who grew up on food stamps and is now like on the climb, like to have even Amy on my podcast and like chatting with her and she's lovely and not fangirl, but like peers and these people are your peers, right?
Yes.
And I think when you start to do your thing and show up in business and believe, actually, I'm fucking good at what I do and I care, then you start to attract these people. So just all of the flowers for you, like you attracted this into your world and how amazing. But you always seem really like, I got this. I'm good. I look after myself. I'm eating well. I'm doing my smoothies. Like, what do you
Crying.
do for you? What do you do for you running this like 3,000 applications a month? Holy shit. Right. And like, you're organized. Like when I tell you guys that this woman's SOP, it's not even an SOP. It's like sexier than an SOP, if that's even possible. Um, Amazing. So, what the hell do you do for you, or what have you done for yourself that allows you to be so grounded in who you are, so humble, so lovely, and okay, like mentally, wellness wise, okay, but still like
Hmm.
killing it? Because there's this gorgeous like about you that's really amazing, and I don't know if it was always there, but is there something that you do for you?
I appreciate that. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. I'm trying not to cry right now, but if I did, that's okay because we let
Yes.
our emotions
We're
flow.
here, girl.
Um, Yeah, I think what's actually really interesting about our journey is that we started this business, my husband and I, about 7 years ago, originally as like a marketing agency. So a lot of the work we would do was more high touch. We weren't like super big on content and just like more mainstream as we are now. And I started the business when I was 19, and my husband was a couple years older than me. And I left college after a semester to start this. So we went into this just like,
Wow.
I at least totally blind. I had spent some time in Silicon Valley, some time in LA, like learning about things and a lot of time online, reading
Yeah.
things like 4 Hour Work Week and all of
Yeah.
that good stuff. But I was like, man, I have no idea what the hell I'm doing.
Yeah.
So a lot of that journey kind of led to being very burnt out and very tired of doing the same thing over and over. So in
Mm.
2022, we actually totally shut down our business. We totally closed doors, fired everybody, and didn't have anything going on for this business for about, I think it was 6 or 7 months. So we brought it back in like July, August. And during that time, we were spending a lot of time in like the crypto, NFT, Web3 metaverse world. And coming back into this business, because then I decided, well, hey, looking at the market, this is just such a good time to like take advantage of all the work that we just did for the last like 5-6 years and be able to finally, feel rewarded for building all that foundation, because it took a while for all of this to kind of happen, right? It's new tech. And so coming back into the business, I feel like I've matured like 10 times over. I'm a much better boss, much better leader. And I think it just took stepping completely away and feeling like I have another chance to do this. So I know it's a little bit unique because it may not be super relatable to people that are like, well, I can't just shut down my business and like come back and go on like a sabbatical, which very much was not a sabbatical. Every day I was like, what is my life? Who am I? Like a lot of my identity was tied to who I was in the business. And so anyways, taking that time away was what allowed me to, I feel like, enlighten myself and like ascend a little bit more into more of a business owner, rather than just like doing a ton of shit every day and being stuck in like the grind. But at the end of the day, I think a lot of it too is just creating space for yourself. So it's been hard for me to like stop working super early, throughout the years. And now I'm working on that more and more. But I find even just creating that space allows you to have a similar experience to that, where you're just taking time away. Whereas I was just working way too much. And at the end of the day, I didn't understand that you have to rest just as hard as you work.
Oh my God, so freaking true. And maybe it is a coming with age. Maybe when you're young and crazy, you just got all the energy and then you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to burn out. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, you got such a good, just a good like groundedness to you. And it feels nice to be supported with that energy as well. It's very nurturing, but still pulls you to your greatness. It's still like exciting and we're creating and it's business focused, but it's not a crazy burnout, scarcity, crazy. And I just appreciated that from you and the whole team. Just really beautiful. So thanks for that nugget. So yeah, if you can't go on a sabbatical, I definitely went on a 5-day sabbatical in 2022 and I needed to. So if you feel like that's speaking to you, even if it's just that retreat where I just got like to stop and be on airplane mode. Like airplane mode is underrated. Okay. Like that is
very true.
That's freedom. Who can go on airplane mode? Nobody. So thank you so much. Okay. So we want to connect with you and find you. Where do we go besides going there? And please comment the word show if you go to the School of Bots Instagram. But how do we go if someone's like, I want to be number 3001 on your email list, on your wait list? How do they do that?
Yeah. So 2 things. If you all have any questions or you want to reach out to me, you can directly message me at Natasha T. Willis on Instagram. If you want to apply to work with us, you can actually also go through the chat funnel process. So you can message at School of Bots, the word apply. And usually it's in our bio unless we're promoting something else at the time. And so if you just message us that, you can see our process of going through and kind of analyzing what you're doing in your business right now and see if we can support you. Either way, we will have free resources for you or some way to help you take that next step. So even if, from a financial standpoint, or maybe even just from like your current business model, you're like, I don't know if I want to dive fully in and like build all this crazy stuff out with you guys, but I want to get my, my feet wet and test some stuff out. We can share some free resources with you too. So feel free to do that and check it out, and you'll go through a chat funnel in the process.
Yeah. And you can see how it feels. And you guys do master classes, you do free workshops and things like that as well. So just to get your head around it, I'm very visual and you guys are very visual and it's so helpful to watch. I'm also going to drop a link in the show notes as well that you can click on if you want to check it out. I literally highly recommend it. It was such a game changer mixed with Taki Moore's Sell by Chat and your chat funnel bots. Like Hamish is just like, oh my God, Instagram. And we, like, for the record, made $1 million on Instagram on our own with my little hands by myself, breastfeeding a baby and hustling. So I can't even imagine now, like, what the next 12 months, if that was just 3.5 months, we've doubled our list. Like, I can't even imagine what it is. So thank you, Natasha, for your time and for the amazing brain that you are. Big love to hubby and the amazing team. Kiss Jason for me. We love him. And I'll see you soon, my darling. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. And thanks everyone for listening. Woo.
Thank you so much for listening. I freaking love you. I appreciate you. Thank you for your ears and your energy and your attention. Thank you for letting me into your world. And thank you so much for listening and tuning in to this podcast. There are so many podcasts you can listen to, and I deeply, deeply, for real, appreciate you listening to mine. Do me one big favor, one big thing. Please share this episode or this podcast with a woman who you know needs to hear this. This is my mission on planet Earth, to serve as many women as possible so that we could show up, stand up, speak up, and create the confidence and the life that we desire. I appreciate you, my love. I will see you on the next episode.